guys, and welcome to our review of Venom, directed by Ruben Fleischer, starring Tom Hardy, Michelle Williams, Riz Ahmed, Jenny Slate as well, isn't it? My name is Scott Ellis. I'm joined here by Tim Gavik.
Oh, Venom.
Venom.
Hi.
Tim, do you have any Venom memorabilia that you'd like to...
No, I don't.
Sorry, world.
Also joining us is Tyler Switolski.
I should have made that tongue come around and made that... Oh, they did make it the handle. Oh, that is dope.
Derp.
We know you bought him the mug.
Also joining us is Adam Franey.
Thanks, buddy.
I wore my Wolverine shirt.
Marvel. Cool. He gets affected by symbiote at one point.
It's got a beer reference for you.
The worst beer, but yeah.
Hey, the king of beers.
I have a Game Boy.
Still shit.
I'm sure there's been a Venom game.
Tim,
Yeah.
can you give us a little synopsis of Venom
Oh,
for the viewers?
I sure can.
Yes, please. Wrap it.
When investigative journalist Eddie Brock rattles the cage of business owner Carlton Drake, Eddie finds himself accidentally exposed to an alien life form that bonds with its host and begins to take over his life and body.
Not a parasite.
Tom
Not a
Hardy.
parasite.
Doesn't want to be it. Not a parasite. Ty, let's start with you.
Oh,
What did you think of Venom?
I did see this movie.
Yes.
That is a fact.
Continue.
We think.
Step one.
See movie. This movie, I made the mistake of reading some, I won't say reviews, but
You can say reviews if you read reviews.
yeah, they were...
Scathing reviews?
Yes. Just like overall thoughts on the film, and they were not positive.
Right.
And I gotta say, I don't really get it. Like, get their reviews.
Loved it.
Because I thought it was really good.
Really?
Yeah, like,
I like that.
like if you consider like the movies that the Marvel non-Marvel companies have put out, like they haven't been great. In fact, a lot of them, yeah, exactly, fan forced it.
Spider-Man 2.
It's been like all the other Spider-Mans. It's like
Spider-Man 3.
Well, that's
Deadpool.
like I said, a lot of them have not been great.
Yeah. Sony's.
Yeah, more recently.
I'll go through that.
More recently, they've been getting better.
Apocalypse. X-Men Apocalypse. Not great.
This
Sony.
was a step. This was a step in the right direction, and I liked it. Now, I think that it would have benefited better from, say, an R rating.
Like it had before they changed it last second.
Ooh, you can see where they cut.
You can definitely see like what
Physically see what was cut.
Semmer, stop that there.
Yeah.
No, I think it could have been much better had they had the balls to do an R rating. But I get it. I don't. But I thought it was a good film. Tom Hardy was great, I think, as Eddie Brock and as Venom. Apparently burped his lines to get the Venom voice.
That's fucked.
It can't be fully correct. Like they got the
no, like they touched with it. Like they touched it up a little bit, and
they can't actually do that.
But they get like that bass.
Very, very deep throat.
Yeah,
Not deep throat, but like very like deep in his throat.
deep in his throat.
Voice. Yeah.
But yeah, like I thought that he was great. I would have liked to have seen more from Jenny Slate. I think there would have been.
Who is Jenny Slate, please?
She's the scientist.
Girl with the high pitched voice.
So.
Voices the
Cat.
The lamb.
the lamb in Zootopia.
From Zootopia.
Also the cat in Life of Pets.
Yep.
Okay.
Great voice.
Great at voicing animals.
That's fine.
Yeah, like I would like to have seen more from her. I think they could have done more with her character. But yeah, overall, I was I loved.
Overall, you loved it.
I loved like the Venom character. Loved it.
You're not shook by the 30% Rotten Tomato score.
30%.
You're sticking it to the man.
Disgusting. That's why I don't
We'll
like
see
to
if that
know.
percent holds true.
You never want to.
for the rest of us.
That's why I'm glad that I don't
What?
read that before, because like 30%.
Like 33% of all people liked it.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
So,
Right.
I usually
find
fall
out.
into that
so
category.
that means 2 people have to hate it and 1 person has to kind of like it.
Be indifferent.
Yeah. But yeah.
Adam, let's jump over to you. What do you think of Venom?
Venom, eh? Got the dark forces. Great song by Eminem. Love the song. Nope.
Yeah, it sucks.
You didn't like the song?
The song's real bad.
It's real bad, yeah. I was very excited for Venom
Were you?
when it was announced.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Tom Hardy, perfect.
As Venom, perfect casting.
Perfection.
Mhm.
Ruben Fleischer, even.
Zombieland.
He's done dark comedy. He can do the wacky darkness, right? Then it was
Gangster
announced.
Squad.
Gangster Squad. Well,
Okay.
Scott, I only said Zombieland for a reason. Rated R was announced.
Get fucking hyped.
They've done it. Sony's done it.
It's perfect.
They're piggybacking Deadpool, Logan's success. What could go wrong? Then about a week ago, PG-13 was announced. Then about a few days ago, Tom Hardy says 40 minutes was cut.
Of his favorite parts.
Sorry, he was asked, what's your favorite scene? He said the 40 minutes that were cut. And I started to get it all out, Willem. I started to get DC vibes. Suicide Squad vibes.
Right.
Start getting suicide vibes.
Yeah. Then I saw the movie.
I can't tell.
And it was boring. Didn't really like it. Didn't hate it. It's just bleh.
Okay, so then you two must hate it.
Well, if we're going by
Remains to be
statistics,
seen.
I thought that the comparisons to like Catwoman and Fantastic were harsh because those are like
Because our movies are trash.
Those are shit movies.
borderline 0 out of 5s.
Right.
This I would not go that far because I can see that there's a good movie in there that was Edward Scissorhand did just
Mm. Good
it's just-
reference, Johnny Depp. Nice.
right, naturally. You know me. It felt like a generic, like, Incredible, like the first Incredible Hulk, like Ang Lee's.
Mm.
Like, just generic, like, pre-Marvel universe.
Again, the content was there.
It could have been good, but, like, it was just so generic.
Yeah.
Like, Tom Hardy was fine, but the rated R being cut down to PG-13 is just like there's no gore, hyper-violence, there's no swearing. Like, the character could have benefited from that, I feel like,
I
right?
saw this one review that said this is the best 2006 superhero movie.
That's perfect. Thank you,
Yeah.
Tim.
Apparently, it's leading same as Spider-Man 3, like review wise and ratings wise.
Spider-Man 3 has 64%.
At now,
Yeah.
okay.
On Rotten Tomatoes, this has 30.
Yeah, no, apparently like then though, like
Oh,
it was.
dude.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's perfect. Like, if this was pre-MCU and I was like 14, I might like it.
Mm-hmm.
But just, it's got all the main tropes of, like, a bad superhero movie. Like, the villain's bad. Riz Ahmed is bad. Riot is bad. No one knows what Riot is. Like, they should have done Carnage, which was announced when they announced it, that it was going to be Carnage, I feel
It
like.
was going to be called Venom, Carnage. Not Carnage, but...
Colon?
God.
I live with that every day already.
Worst
Oh.
superhero.
That's scary. Wow. That would be rated R.
But that's the natural choice of villain, right? Carnage, right?
Yeah. You would think.
Well, this could be a good setup. You know, like that could be.
You could have easily... well... Anyways.
I don't know, but just like Silver Venom is not a cool villain. And like just CG fight, climax, like
We've seen that before.
we've seen
Yeah.
everything in this before. Like, it's just so... You reminded me, you know, in Transformers 2 when Shia LaBeouf's like losing it and he's like writing on that chalkboard and like going down. That's what Tom Hardy reminded me of when he's like trying to eat everything and like it was just
It's a
so
Wednesday
cringe.
for me.
Right.
Well, I read something that was like... It was an interesting little headline. It was like, Tom Hardy acted like the movie was a straight comedy. And everyone else in the movie acted like it was
Thank you.
like a noir or something.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
It's very well
Said.
said point.
And yeah, I'm not gonna say like I hated everything. Like, thought the interplay between Hardy and Venom had some like funny moments where I was like, okay, that's Venomish. Like the elevator joke is amazing. I laughed. That's pretty much it. But
I think we cringed a lot because we watched it together.
we were cringing.
And I'm just like, there's supposed to be a joke, and I'm just looking at you like,
Oh, we looked. We looked at each other.
Well, there's a
alright.
couple-
is this real?
There was like a moment that like when he like first gets infected with the symbiote and he's like again he's like Venom's just like this isn't spoilers, so he's just getting hungry, and so like he goes like something that made me laugh. He goes into the garbage can to find this rancid meat, and just devours it.
I think what was it? Tom Hardy was like, "Oh, that can't be good," and then Venom was like,
Yeah.
"Just eat it or something."
Hungry. Like, food. And so he just, like, he starts eating it, and then, like, all of a sudden he feels sick, so he gets up and goes to the toilet to throw up instead of just vomiting in the trash can that he was already in.
Oh.
I'm assuming it had something to do with Venom not wanting to fucking shit where he eats.
I guess.
That's funny.
So I thought that was kind of a funny little point.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
I feel like you put more thought into it.
Yeah.
Than
Yeah.
they should have. Now, had they had Venom be like, "No, I don't shit where I eat."
Yeah,
or
something like
yeah,
that.
that's
Yeah.
Funny, but they didn't.
Don't shit where I eat.
Yeah, just generic, boring, same old from 2006. You know,
Sick.
if I was in 2006, I'd be like, "Oh, this is fresh.
Shit.
This is wild." They did a Venom movie.
Well, Tim, what did you think of Venom?
I love
curious.
Venom, the character.
Right.
There it is.
Love Tom Hardy,
Super cool
the
character.
actor.
Yeah, I agree with Adam. This is not like Fantastic Four bad.
Thank you.
I saw a lot of reviews saying that, like, worst
Yeah.
superhero
Yeah.
movie in like a decade. I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's
Catwoman.
not fair.
I've
you
seen that
gotta
headline.
see some other movies because they're real bad.
Yeah.
This one at least had like one cool action scene, which was the smoke grenade one was pretty sweet.
To be fair, I agree.
Yeah.
I never mentioned that.
Yeah, the action scene's good.
Scott, visibly cringing.
Not a fan. Eh?
I'll go there.
going.
That one action.
And by good I mean like good in this movie,
Right.
not compared to.
Yeah, make that very clear.
But yeah, it's just kind of it's pretty boring. Tom Hardy's weird in it.
How so?
He's just he's so
How
jittery.
It's one of the funniest
Like,
things
just-
I've ever heard.
It's just weird, man.
Hardy's
Full
weird
Tom
in
Hardy.
it.
Michelle Williams is bad,
Yeah.
like
How often do you say that?
real bad in this movie.
Well, I think their relationship was their on-screen relationship was, I think, mostly to blame for that, because it was just like, for me, it was just all over the place, and it's
It's just some bad lines.
Her performance is bad.
It's just some
Okay.
bad line delivery.
Yeah.
I
Riz
can't
Ahmed also bad.
Thank you.
Like not intimidating.
See, I was excited for him in the trailer though. Like he looked like he had that dark kind of like small little psycho controlling from like the rear. But then once you saw him on screen, it was like that was all lost.
All lost. The editing on it is real bad too. Just like cuts.
How they
between-
edited it.
How they edited it.
Yeah.
Edited.
I found
Um,
the best editing you don't notice.
Yeah, this was
Yeah.
very
I
noticeable.
was like, whoa, what? Where did I
Jarring.
see
Yeah. Like there's no like
Whoa.
flow between scenes. It's just
No.
like this is a scene, this is a scene, this is a scene.
yeah.
Unintentional mash cuts,
Bag of
smash cuts.
scenes.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a weird movie, man. Like I liked a couple things in it. Like I thought the Venom design was not bad.
Yeah.
He was a little bit too shiny.
He was
um,
shinier than your mug.
Yeah, it's weird, man. And then also I don't think they really captured the Venom character that well, because as far as I remember, he's not like a distinct personality who actually like has full on
Because
conversations.
this was like two people.
with Eddie Brock.
This was two distinct.
Yeah.
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 Like
There's
Hulk.
Venom who's like controlling his body. I'm like, no. He's supposed to like just amplify Eddie Brock's like own internal rage,
Right.
and that's why he's like,
He becomes Venom.
yeah,
Right.
Not like Venom's taking over. Like
yeah.
Like Jekyll and
he,
Hyde.
he like yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people equate this to Upgrade. I think you two saw Upgrade, where like his
very
body's like taken over by like that robot
Yeah,
or whatever, which doesn't. It's not supposed to happen in comics. I don't think. I'm like 95% sure that doesn't happen.
I'm gonna go with you there.
I think he uses the symbiote to like do stuff.
Right.
The symbiote like infects you and like makes you a little bit like it ups
It
your
alters-
rage and stuff a little bit,
It
but
alters
like
your mind, but it's
Yeah.
not like
doesn't
a second
control your
person.
yeah.
Take steroids or something.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
So if you had to look back at Spider-Man 3,
Oh.
they did a better job at portraying the actual Venom symbiote than this movie did.
That part of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That aspect of it.
Okay.
Wow. That felt
They
weird.
Never
know
thought
that-
I'd say that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
jump in.
Toe for grace.
I think that
Well done.
Oof.
Spider-Man 3 did that one aspect better. Everything else was way worse.
Everything else. Well, this one didn't have any sort of.
Topher Grace is a better actor than
Yeah.
Tom Hardy.
Right.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It fits better.
Venom. I really dislike this film.
Ooh,
Wow.
Spicy.
There it is.
Yeah, it's not as bad as it's not as bad as those movies that we're talking about, right? But it just nothing. It was just so boring and uninteresting.
Yeah.
The only thing that I liked was Tom Hardy. I thought he's always watchable. I feel like
he was having a great time.
He's infinitely watchable.
Yeah.
Like, he's just going crazy. I'm just like, I just liked his performance. I don't necessarily think it was like what the movie needed or anything, but like he's just so crazy that I just like Tom Hardy.
Yeah, to me that's what this movie needed, because that was like the one thing that like kind of kept everyone in.
I think they just need to go further with it. I think the R rating, not being R rated, hurt it a lot.
Very 2006
yeah,
move.
very, because it's PG. It's just very, it just wasn't anything
safe.
interesting there. Very safe. Michelle Williams, horrible. But her character was horrible. Like, there wasn't any reason. I don't know. It just didn't make any sense. I'm like, we don't care. I don't care about the relationship whatsoever. You get one scene where he's like in bed and they're like fine together, and then that's supposed to be like the backstory of the relationship. Like, no, I'm sorry, that's not enough.
Yeah,
like I need more there. Like, why would he care? Like, how do they even get like they're
because Lily left
engaged
24 hours later,
and she just for him snooping on her computer and getting her fired and him fired as well. Like, she throws away their engagement for one. Like, I don't know. It's just like.
Yeah, you think they would have
that's
like
extreme.
a discussion version?
I don't know. That's very extreme.
This was troubled from the start,
and maybe it would make sense if we understood their relationship more, but we don't.
Yeah, like maybe if we got an instinct where like he had done this type of thing before, or like
and he like promised he would never. I don't know. There's so much more you could do, right? And Riz Ahmed, not great. I like Riz Ahmed, but I don't know. He needed to be more.
He's not
like
a good villain. He's a good like sidekick.
Side villain.
He needs to be more intimidating in the, like you guys said, but kind of like, I just think of like Iron Man. What's his name?
Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges.
Yeah.
You know, like
Obadiah
super
Stane.
intimidating, right?
Obadiah.
As like the CEO of his company and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like similar, right? But I need someone like that to go toe to toe.
Yeah.
With Tom Hardy, like I feel like Riz Ahmed is just like this little pipsqueak.
Yeah, really bad monologues. His monologues
Yeah.
are so terrible.
Like I don't understand his character, like his motivations at all, really, right?
Well, they used that with that exposition scene where he was like, where Tom Hardy was interviewing him, and like that again, that's supposed to be all you're supposed to get from the backstory of that character. Now you know all of his motivations now.
But it's just weak. It's just like, so your plan is to bring symbiotes to the Earth and like combine with them, and that's going to be the next step for humanity. Like that's your plan, dude.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? That's insane.
Like, it doesn't even make sense. Like, not it's insane. It's like it's crazy. That's like you're a villain. It's just, it literally doesn't make sense.
All it takes is like his wife died of cancer and he couldn't save her, and if only he had the symbiote that would like save her or something.
Boom.
Like all you need is some explanation.
See, I was gonna say, like, was that it? Because that was
I was
great.
gonna say, was that it? Did I miss that?
Yeah,
No.
I missed that part because that's perfect.
But his character needs some motivation like that for you to be like, oh, I understand why.
yeah,
Right? We don't understand why, and so we don't care.
he's just a bad dude.
And
Apparently.
it doesn't make sense because of it.
Yeah,
Like you don't. Doesn't take much. I wish there was more Jenny Slate.
yeah,
She was fine. I thought she was again fine.
yeah.
But yeah, like you guys were saying, just very, very 2005-ish.
That's
The
goal.
CG. You guys mentioned that like smoke bomb like fight scene. I thought it was fine, but at the same time, the CG was like so extreme in it. Like there's a shot where he like catches the smoke bomb in his mouth,
yeah.
and he's like, it's like a classic like he's like snarling at the camera and his tongue's going crazy. I just thought it looked so absurd and just not realistic whatsoever. It looked like complete CG. I don't know. It's just so
You're not wrong.
over the
I
top.
can't even like defend one
Yeah.
of the few things I liked. I'm like,
Yeah.
you're right.
You're right. Oh shit.
And just
Fuck this
because
movie.
it was PG, all the scenes of him like ripping people's heads off and like throwing people and people getting wrecked,
All the blood was.
it's
sick,
like it
man.
just cuts a little bit too
Yeah.
soon,
Yeah.
Oh.
and you just don't fully see it. And yeah, I just think the fact that it's in like a smoke screen room, like you don't. It's just
There could have
an
been.
excuse to not fully show things,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't mind like
Which
the,
I get. It's kind of like a shark. He's kind of like a shark, right? And
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you can't see where he is, so it's like menacing.
Yeah, but at the same time, like it was almost too much of it.
Yeah, like I want to see what's going on.
Something like something in the background maybe, but like the one thing I actually thought they did better was the bike scene, like that chase scene. I actually liked that a lot. You kind of got to see like what Venom can do, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Some good practical explosions in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they actually were crashing cars.
That was
Did
cool.
they cut some stuff? There's a shot in the trailer where it's like you see behind him, like you see him going down the street, and he has like the Venom like arms like shooting out and like flipping cars.
No, they did
In the
that.
trailer?
It's
Was
when they
that
grabbed
in the
the
movie?
steering wheels.
But there was a specific shot. I don't know.
Maybe that shot wasn't in there.
Cars
But
were like cascading behind
Yeah,
him.
that was fun.
I like that, I guess. I like the head bite. Like when the guy shoots him in the back and he's like licking the guy's face. And then he stops. I'm like, really? Like they're not going to bite the guy's head off? But then they like switcheroo it and he bites the guy behind him's head off. I'm like,
Right.
okay.
Interesting.
Good job.
I did like the back and forth between Tom Hardy and Venom. I thought that was
Because of Tom Hardy. So funny.
yeah.
Like, likable.
And like we were saying about Spider-Man 3, I think Spider-Man 3 was more accurate, but I almost like this version better.
Same.
really, that's crazy.
I think this is more cinematic.
I don't mean I like this version of Venom. I just mean I like the aspect that Venom is like this
I actually like
second personality.
I like this version of Venom way better. Like he's like just overall like the overall stature of the character. Like you see like he's this massive
Hulking.
beast.
Yeah.
Whereas when you look at before it was pretty much Topher Grace wearing just like a whole bunch of oil. Like that
I
was
don't think he was hulking.
no,
Yeah.
nope, just dripping, just not good.
Yeah, I didn't love Riot. He was just boring.
Wasted, I think.
Bad.
I like the whole thing of like them being separated, the symbiotes being separate from their hosts, and like their like head like looking at them. I
Yeah.
thought that was kind of weird.
Also
but
reminded me of
cool.
Men in Black.
Little Man
a little
Black.
bit.
Yeah, just
Little
Johnny
Johnny
Knoxville's
Knoxville.
head. Just.
Wish you didn't say that.
But I almost wish there was a bit more backstory of like where the symbiotes like came from, like
Mhm.
how they got the symbiotes. Like you don't really get to understand.
They jump
that.
right into it.
Like they're just already on a ship. Like how did that? Where did that come about?
Yeah.
Maybe it would explain more how there's like the different symbiotes are like different personalities and how they're all like different. I don't know.
Well, it's
There
actually
could be more there.
kind of confusing actually because when I think it's Jenny Slate's character says they found them on a comet, and then you see Venom start talking about his homeworld, and it's just like to me it's like two different things.
Yeah, like that didn't really make sense.
Like
I think that's accurate though.
there's
right?
millions of us, and we wanted.
Like, did they hop a ride on a comet? Like I don't know.
Yeah, what is that their homeworld? Like
That is canon though. Like
Yeah.
Venom is just an alien symbiote. I think J. Jonah Jameson's son brings it back.
Jameson's mentioned in the movie.
What?
really?
The astronaut that survives is Jameson. Last name Jameson.
Oh, I didn't even catch that.
There we go. I didn't catch that either.
Crazy.
Shit.
I mean, at least
5.
That's
Yeah.
Accurate.
Overall, I didn't love it.
Heavy 5.
I thought the like elevator joke was funny, but a lot of the humor didn't.
Yeah, it didn't quite land.
Didn't quite land.
literally it.
Let's give our ratings and we can get into spoiler talk.
6.
I'm gonna start off. I'm gonna say it's like a 2.
Wow.
I'm gonna go heavy too.
Bump that
Like
score
2.5?
up, buddy.
Have to readjust everything
Give
now.
it the 4. No, you don't.
Heavy 3.
Heavy 2.
All right, fair warning if you haven't seen Venom, check it out or don't.
Venom.
But yeah, we're gonna be discussing spoilers, so you've been
Venom,
warned.
Venom.
Let's get into it.
Venom.
Anything specific you guys want to talk about?
I just want to talk about probably the worst wig I have ever seen
Oh yeah.
in a movie
So a little context
ever.
at the
Like
I thought
the
it was
mid-credit scene is Eddie Brock going to prison,
San
a
Quentin.
prison, San Quentin,
Yeah.
to like visit. I forget the character.
Cletus
Cletus
Cassidy.
Cletus Cassidy, which is Woody Harrelson in the worst wig of all time.
Yeah.
well, it's
One of the worst. Maybe it's because we know.
But that's
he's
the thing.
so bald.
Is it blows my mind because and every time you see Woody Harrelson in a movie, like half the time he's got a wig on, and like it's
True.
good. So like you have a blank slate to work with. Like, what? How did this look so shit?
So bad.
Well-
It's just a weird color too. I'm like, no one's hair is naturally like
Was,
Like
that
crimson
color.
red.
Yeah.
you haven't mentioned he is playing Ronald McDonald, right?
So bad.
So it's not that
It's
weird.
terrible. Just make him bald. It's fine.
Is he not Ronald McDonald? Yeah.
In the comics, he has
Garbage.
that hair.
In the comics, he
He has
actually has
red
something
curly
like
hair.
actually
Yeah.
closer than I.
Is it
Like closer
curly, though?
to me.
It's like-
I thought it was
It's
like
not-
long.
No,
it's like faded
curly.
on the sides, like shorter on the sides, and it's got like a lot more. It's like closer to my hair, and it's
Yeah.
just like
Yeah, that's not what he had. He
No,
had an afro.
He is a full like.
Aaron
bizarre-
Taylor Johnson from Kick-Ass.
Oh man, it's weird.
Yeah, that scene was cringe. I also didn't understand like why why there's no backstory of like why he would go visit him. Like,
Yeah, why did
I don't
he
know anything
request
about
Eddie Brock
Eddie Brock.
to interview
there's
him?
more backstory to how they met in the comics, and like it makes sense, but they didn't explain.
Well, they were
any
in
of that.
prison together.
Yeah,
Like that
yeah,
was-
but they didn't
Yeah.
explain
Yeah.
that.
What? Is
The
that
com-
said in this movie?
No, that's in the comics.
In the comics,
Oh,
they're
okay.
in prison together. Yeah.
And
Right.
like, and so like that's how the Carnage is born, because it's the offspring of
Venom.
Right.
So
Not
like
that much.
how exactly are they going to do this? Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, it's
not,
not that big.
like that.
I don't know.
For the viewers, we're looking at Cletus
I don't know,
Cassidy.
It's fine.
Like, just have regular red, normal human hair.
Yeah.
You don't need like a fucking headlight. He was like,
Yeah.
it was like red.
line was like horrifying. Like, there will be carnage. I'm like, no, they didn't just do this. Like, you didn't just have Carnage look in the camera and say there will be carnage. I'm gonna come.
I think if the line was
Because
more...
Carnage is the name of the symbiote,
Yeah.
like how like
Oh, really?
Venom
Yeah.
and Riot,
Right.
like they already have their own names or whatever, right?
Right.
So like, I think it would have been better.
Oh,
like,
shit.
the
So
line
how
would
would
have
he-
been... the line could have been better if they hadn't put so much emphasis on the word Carnage.
Well, audiences are stupid, right? You have to.
There
beat
will
them
be
over the head.
Carnage.
In the next film,
Yeah.
If you don't know that that's Carnage,
Sequel.
saying Carnage won't help you.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
You either
Because they
know
don't mention
or you
Cletus
don't.
Cassidy at all. They don't say.
Did they not
that
say
name.
like,
No.
here's Cletus Cassidy?
No.
There will be Carnage. I'm gonna be Carnage in the next movie.
It's the worst. Worst Minecraft scene I've ever seen.
$80 million, people got hype.
it's at 200 worldwide.
200
They're
worldwide.
making that sequel, man. That's coming.
Oh,
100 mil budget,
Let's go, baby.
200
Now,
box office.
let me ask you guys this: now that it's made a fuck ton of money,
Hmm.
and it is PG-13,
Oh, no.
They can't. They can't now. Why would they?
An R sequel?
no,
An R cut.
a crossover.
Oh.
The whole reason you make it PG-13
That's what they're hoping, yeah.
is to cross it over with Spider-Man. Are we gonna get Tom Hardy in the MCU?
No, he would not
Tom,
fit.
no.
Yeah.
I think we'll get Tom Holland in the Sony universe.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would see Tom
Never even
Holland
thought
showing
about
up.
it.
Well, it's like
before-
Spider-Man: Homecoming
Okay.
is like
Okay.
separate somewhat, right?
Well,
From what?
I read an
The
article.
The greater MCU,
Like
like most Marvel standalones are,
yeah.
right? Not necessarily like you might be some character crossovers, but
Yeah.
like generally separated from the grand scheme of the MCU.
Mhm.
The
But yeah, I mean they could easily do it.
I think they're going to.
the article that I read said that like it kind of simplified the whole Sony Marvel thing. It pretty much came out and said that Sony or Marvel has like creative lead with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like they will lead the projects, but then Sony has the final say as to what happens.
Did you see what the director said about Venom?
No.
Kevin Feige had zero involvement.
Well, now I don't know what to think.
Right.
I
Which
thought you
makes
said
sense.
legally they're allowed to use each other's characters. That's
Mhm.
the deal that was worked out.
Hmm.
Sony can borrow MCU characters. MCU can borrow
If they like
Sony.
approve it and like
Obviously,
work with each other.
Yeah.
It's not like Wild West. You
I
can't
think
just,
what
like-
would make sense, like I think it would be pretty boring if we just had Venom versus Carnage. Like it needs to be like Venom, and then like Spider-Man like is like fighting back against Venom, but then the like bigger villain Carnage appears and they have to fucking team up against Carnage.
Yeah, I mean,
Like that's what I want to see.
so we all
Produced by
wanna
Kevin
see-
Feige.
Yeah, please.
How about that? Please.
Kevin,
Yes.
call Kevin. Sony, call Kevin. He will help you.
But it's gonna be
Just
called
ask
Carnage,
for help.
a new Venom story. Or something. Yeah.
With Spider-Man in
Right,
parentheses.
right.
Oh, God.
A new Venom and
Gross.
Spider-Man film.
That's gross.
Spider-Man 3,
And they
Venom.
even like, oh yeah, he's in San Francisco now. Like that's why he's not in New York.
Right.
Well,
And,
they
like, with Spider-Man, like they like leave it open.
there's like a backstory there that like, you kind of have to maybe read into.
Mhm.
There's something called the Sin Eater. Have you heard about that?
No.
Okay, so that's like, I haven't read enough about it to say what exactly it is, but that's one of the
Classic.
reasons why he left New York to go to San Francisco.
Like in the comics, like in
Yeah.
canon.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I think they did it because people would be like, why wasn't Tom Hardy in New York
Mhm.
with the Avengers and the Spider-Man?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the audiences don't know that they're separate universes.
Right.
Yeah.
They guaranteed are wondering.
It's a
what
Marvel
Batman is.
movie.
They want to know where Superman is. I'm pretty sure. You know what? Maybe that Carnage line was good because audiences really don't know. It's true. But
Was there anything else?
we
I
all
think
loved
that'll
it.
do it for our review of Venom. Check it out or don't.
Apparently you did.
Tim, where can people find us?
People can find us on Twitter at UpReal8. You can find me personally on Letterboxd at UpRealTim and on Instagram at DCraftPundit.
You can find us on Facebook and on Instagram at Upreal 8 Podcast. You can also find me on Letterboxd at Upreal Ty.
You can find me on Twitter.
Pussy.
I love that.
Anyway, you can find me on Twitter at Franny25 and Instagram and Letterboxd at UpRealAtom.
Find myself, Scott, on Letterboxd at UprealScott. And yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like on it. Leave a comment below in the comment section if you want to join our discussion. And, of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. And as always, keep it real.